Hi everyone! Kamusta po kayo? I just want to share my journey here in Thailand. Bakit ako nandito? Anong ginagawa ko dito? Of all country-wide Thailand. Okay, so ito yung mga questions na binabato sa akin. Bakit nga nandito ako? Because personally, I don't know what happened. Pero gusto ko lang dito talaga. I feel at home. At the same time, people here are very nice. And yeah. So I was here way back 2005, but this is not my first time here. I was here 2013, but unfortunately, hindi ako nakapag-work noon at that time because I'm not ready, and at that time, may mga problema pa, so I need to fix everything, and I'm not ready pa to to work here. Kasi when you work here, to be honest, talaga is kailangan talaga na you have connections, especially if you have friends working here, so that they can recommend you. For example, if you want to work as a teacher, so you can apply here personally. So magiging entry mo talaga is you have to be a tourist. Okay, so turista meaning you are not allowed to work by law, no? So kailangan gala lang, vacation, that's it, di ba? Pag turista ka. But yeah, fortunately, if you have friends here, they will recommend you to a certain workplace. So pwede yun, no? So ang gagawin mo lang talaga is you have to extend your visa, etc., etc., etc. So maraming process yan. So maraming gasto rin. At the same time, tsaka life is not a bed of roses. So hindi mo na makaka-work for how many weeks or how many months. So tsaga lang talaga, tsaka tibay ng loob if you want to stay longer here in Thailand. So first, way back 2015, I was working as a teacher. English teacher, actually. So, naging English teacher ako for almost a year. Yeah, for quite some time. And then, palipat-lipat kasi ako ng school because yung first school ko is not, parang there's something wrong with the school kasi nga, I don't know what happened. They don't process my working visa. That's the reason why I keep on, exit, labas ng labas, waldas ng pera kasi nga you have to pay for your visa, your tourist visa to extend. So, yun. So guys, piece of advice, if you're planning to work here as a teacher in Thailand, so you have to find a school that can provide documents for your working visa, or else you have to suffer the consequence, right? So what will be the consequence now? So yun nga, you have to exit to extend your visa, and you have to pay for that. It's not for free, no? Like for example, you'll go to Cambodia to extend your visa. So that is how much? 1,200, I guess. And then after the expiration of that visa, you have to extend. So you have to go to immigration and you have to pay 1,900 baht. And then at the same time, friends, limited lang yung exit in a year. Okay, so kailangan you have to maximize the time in finding a work that can really provide you documents for your working visa. Kaya nga number one dito sa Thailand is pagiging teacher because they can easily provide you documents. So ikaw, if you want to work as a teacher, you should provide your documents as well. So it should be complete, no? For example, the usual TOR, diploma, etc., etc. You have to provide those documents to your school or employer, and at the same time, you have to pass the English exam, which is what we call TOEIC. So may mga ibang schools, they required 600 yung score or 700 depending on the school. So but the standard score talaga na required ng Ministry of Education here is about 600. So correct me if I'm wrong. Okay? So yun, no? So as a teacher here in Thailand, based on my experience, it's very different in the Philippines. So you should not compare. Why? Because of the language barrier. Some students, they don't know how to speak English. So you have to use simple terms. You have to teach slow, no? Dapat hindi masyadong mabilis. At the same time, you have to use different devices. At the same time, mga different strategies for them to learn something from you. Tsaka don't expect everybody will learn from you, no? Because yun nga, because of the language barrier. Tsaka here in Thailand, you cannot fail the students. It's a big no-no. No, there are some schools that don't allow teachers or foreign teachers na mag-fail ng students nila. I don't know why. What's the reason why? Basta yun, no? Di pwedeng ma-fail yung students. So, as a teacher then, it's a bit struggle, no? Because of the behavior of the students sometimes here. Expect the unexpected talaga. So you have to be ready, especially if you're teaching in a pratum students, no, elementary students or grade school students. Why? Because they are very, very noisy. Sometimes they will not listen to you. So it's really true talaga. So you have to be very patient, and at the same time, you have to control your emotions, and you have to create some strategies how to get the attention of your students. So piece of advice lang, masyadong maging mabait. Okay? Kasi pag mabait ka masyado, because they really know that Filipinos are very mabait, very malambing, and very approachable type of teacher. So sometimes they will abuse you, no? So kaya nga, minsan, okay lang sa kanila na hindi makinig, mag-ingay-ingay in the classroom, kasi nga feeling nila okay lang sa teacher. So ganon. So sometimes, you have to learn how to be strict, or sometimes you have to learn yung classroom management talaga is very important. Okay? So, yun yung na-experience ko as a teacher. So, when it comes to salary, iba-iba kasi yan, no? Depending on the school. But more or less, 20,000 above. But, no? So, yun yung sweldo ng teacher. Kasi may mga Pinoy kasi dito ngayon na tumatanggap ng less than 20,000. Kasi nga, walang choice or ano na talaga, yung in need na talaga ng work. Okay? That's the reason why pababa yung salary ng mga Pilipino dito because of that situation or instances na keep on grabbing na lang kahit mababa yung offer. Ganun yung mentality ng mga Thai eh. So kailangan you have to know your standard. You have to know your value as a teacher here. Para hindi tayo maabuso kasi epektado lahat, no? Kasi if you really know everyone na magkaiba talaga ang sweldo ng NES tsaka non-NES. So what is NES? Native English speaker. So ito yung mga British, Canadian, Americans. So expect that they can get a higher salary of 40,000 ba, 50,000, 70,000 or more depending on the school. But for Filipinos, even though that you are a degree holder, master's degree holder, etc., they will just offer you 20,000 and below or 25,000. Mga ganung klaseng ano lang, no, sweldo binibigay sa kanila, sa atin pala. So, you have to know your standards and wag nang grab. Kasi nga, nadadamay na lahat. So, right now, I am not teaching anymore. So, saan ba ako nag-work ngayon? So, obviously, I'm working in a hotel. So, paano ako napunta sa hotel? So, it's a long story. Kasi nga, after I quit the school, my friend gave me the website na about non-education site or work na offer here in Thailand. So, luckily, I applied for this hotel, and then after 30 minutes, my boss called me for an interview. And then after that, the following day, interview na, and then after that, okay, work na after a week. So yun, no? So they really need Filipinos working in the hotel kasi nga, marami kasing guests, yung mga parang or English speakers or foreigners, so you need to speak English, no? So how about my work here in the hotel? To be honest, guys, at first, I really don't have experience working in the hotel or in tourism, no? Because I am not a tourism graduate. I am a nurse by profession in the Philippines, and I can teach there because I've been teaching in a university for quite some time. But working in the hotel, it's my first time here in Thailand. So I had a training before, and then it's very easy, no? Because if you know how to talk with the guests, so you know how to accommodate them, and surely you can do many things. Tsaka, piece of advice, if you're working in the hotel, you have to know Thailand. You have to know different places, attractions, which is very popular, that you can recommend to your guests because they keep on asking those questions every now and then. So it's very important to know which place is good for hanging out, good food to eat, shopping, etc., etc. And then you also have to know the means of transportation. So that's a bit struggle for me before because, you know, I'm not quite familiar with the place here in Bangkok. Kasi nga napakalaki ng Bangkok, so you have to know those things, no? So little by little, and then day by day, when you keep on learning, keep on reading, keep on listening to your colleagues, so basically you can learn something from them. How about the workload as a receptionist compared to teacher? So pagiging receptionist is very easy, no? But the workload is not so heavy, it's not so toxic compared to a teacher. Kasi nga, less paperworks, and then no lesson plans. You will not prepare for your lessons. Okay? Parang the work is very routine. You just know how to use the system. Just like that, replying to the emails, so on and so forth. So it's not so toxic, no? It's very routine. Tsaka, ang ano lang talaga as a receptionist is, yun nga, sabi ko before, you have to know the place very well so that you can recommend to your guests because that's part of customer service. You have to be very knowledgeable about Thailand. So you have to explore, you have to read, and you should also experience going to those places so that you can share it to your guests. When it comes to salary, sorry mababa lang talaga ang sahod if you are working in a hotel compared to, you know, working as a teacher. So I will not tell how much is the salary because it depends on the employer, tsaka depende sa contract ninyo. But to be honest, mas mataas yung sweldo if you are working as a teacher. And to be honest din, hindi lahat ng work sa hotel na bibigyan ng working visa or permit. So you have to find an employer that can really provide you working visa, or else, as I told you before, those are the consequences that you will encounter. So kailangan you have to find an employer that can give you documents for your working visa. So yun. So luckily, my employer, all of us Filipinos working here have visas. So thank you to our boss. Shout out to my boss. She is very kind. Sometimes she is strict, but in a good way. We learn something from her. She is very workaholic. So she's very Pinoy in the making, no? And yun nga, you have to perform well if you are working in the reception so that yun nga, smooth sailing yung work mo, hindi toxic. So as long as you know how to accommodate your customers, because number one talaga if you're working in the hotel is customer service. Okay? So yun. What else? So if you have any questions regarding my work, comment down below please. And please don't forget to subscribe and like my channel please. Thank you so much for listening. Bye. Have a great day. God bless.